Total Grind Radio, Total Grind ENT, live to inspire. Man, we're back yet again for another episode. To me, this is going to be a real special one today, special edition. I got my brother, celebrity photographer, youth development specialist, mentor. This man has a lot of titles. He's sort of behind the scenes, but yet, again, this is time to hear his story, hear his journey, hear everything he has going on. Celebrity photographer, my friend, my brother, Ty Waterman. What's going on, man?
What's going on? You look more nervous than I do.
I look more nervous than you do. I don't know, maybe because it's the multitasking and everything like that that's going on right now. But we got everything going on, everything set, ready to go. You're here. This is a interview that's long overdue. Long overdue.
Story to tell. Want to hear? Here you go.
So for those of them, the people that's listening right now that's not familiar with who you are, I asked my guest this question, the first question. Who is Ty Waterman?
Who is Ty Waterman?
The greatest person.
Y'all got to talk into the mic.
Say that again. I'll let the camera hear. Let them hear you. Say it loud like you mean it.
The greatest person alive.
I'll make sure you get fed later.
That's what's up. Maybe special guest, Little Ty in the building. His son, Little Ty Jr.
Who is Ty Waterman? Well, thinking about Ty Waterman, I'm talking like I'm in the third person. Ty Waterman is a shortened version of Tyrone Waterman, which is my government name.
Mm-hmm.
I could talk long, so I'm gonna try to make it quick.
It's all good.
What it is,
we got time, brother.
I was given the name Tyrone by my father. It was actually supposed to be Ty Long, in honor of my mother, who's from Thailand, or she was from Thailand. Excuse me. It was basically to honor her and say that she's a long way from home. Needless to say, with her accent, Ty Long turned into Tyrone.
Okay.
And so now as an adult, I go by Ty, so that point blank, my mother's with me now. So she's not a long way from home. In her passing, she's with me. So I want everyone to know, that I am Ty. I am. That's who I am.
So in the whole journey, the best kept secret, BKS, getting into photography. Let's start there. What simply inspired you, gave you that initial spark to say, photography, this is what I want to do. This is something I'm interested in. What sparked your interest in photography?
I worked with kids for, well over 20 years, almost more than half of my life.
Wow.
We'll say about 3/4 of my life. And since I was a kid, I worked with kids. Let's put it that way. And through that journey, I picked up a regular cheap camera somewhere along the way and would take pictures. So I feel like during that process was me developing my eye, like learning what I want to shoot, how I want to shoot it. So one day I ended up with a little bit of money and got my first DSLR camera. And I remember going to a couple sources and asking them how to do this, how to do that. And no one wanted to help me.
Wow.
So it motivated me. It got me hungry to learn. So I went on YouTube and researched. I picked up magazines and I researched. And then trial by fire, I was just going out there and doing it, I'm big on talking about, like, claiming what I'm going to do and saying what I'm going to do and then try to make it happen. And literally went out, did one show here, one show there, and learned on the spot as what I was doing, and it just kind of took off from there.
That's amazing. That's amazing. When you said learning what you want to do and then going ahead to do it, a lot of people, sometimes they hesitate or sometimes they simply have doubt in yourself, but that's a motivational message right there. And that's why you live to inspire. Go ahead and do it. Take that risk, take that chance to just go ahead and do what you want to do, whatever you're passionate about. Yes, so in the gift of having your son and being in the media entertainment outside of your day-to-day when you were in youth development, what was that like? Because I know sometimes when people are in the industry or they do, industry type related work, they have kids and sometimes that slows them down. But what was actually the motivation for you when, Ty came about and now your beautiful daughter as well later on?
Listen, oh man. So I was so used to not having any children prior to my son being born. I was doing, I threw myself at work, was heavy working with youth, doing stuff all the time. So I was used to already kind of being out there. Found out about my son. I had just kind of started a year before in 2010 doing the photography. Had started blowing up a little bit. And probably right up until my wife was about to give birth, I was out shooting photos.
Wow.
You know, I shot Ryan Gomes. He did a birthday party up in New Haven. I shot that. Unfortunately, it's the same day that TJ Mathis, TJ Buckets, passed away.
Wow.
And I remember because my wife was due to give birth that same day, and she told me, you know what, go out, you know, enjoy yourself. And it's like I felt like I had to be there. I've been in a lot of situations where for some reason I had to be there. My son waited for me, you know, went the next day, and my son was born. And it's like, for a while at first, I would leave the house with the camera and forget the baby, and I'm like, I'm forgetting something. Oh, my camera. And it's like, but after with my daughter this time around, I've made sure that I've been home as much as I can. What people don't understand is the camera, when they see me out there, that's the facade. That's the image that I try to portray and uphold when I'm out there, because I want people to strive for something. You know, I want to inspire somebody. You know, I want people to know that I'm just this average guy from the hood, and that, you know, I can make it. My days are spent, if not with my children, I'm at work. Like right now, I actually teach cognitive behavior tools, the stuff that therapists teach. I teach that at an agency in Hartford at Catholic Charities.
Wow.
And so that's been a journey within itself. But I go home, cook dinner, try as best as I can to spend time with my son. You know, I got my nephew. He's here from South Carolina, so I pretty much helped raise him with my mother for, you know, the beginning years up until about his age, before his mother stepped in, and, you know, she started raising him all over again. So I've lived this life, but I've also been somebody who's been through things and been places. So when I'm out there, it's my therapy. It helps me get through the day. I can't control any of this stuff. My son, he gets mad, he gets upset. I can't control that. But when I'm behind that camera, I can control that. Losing my mother, I couldn't control that. But when I'm looking through that lens and I say, this is the shot I want, that's what I can control. So I learned to control the things I can and what I can't. Some people say, give it to God, or, you know, you just give it time, give it space, and work it through. You work it out. That's
awesome, man. That's awesome. Now, Live to Inspire, celebrity photographer Ty Waterman is here, BKS Photographs. He has his little man here. So for you, little Ty, seeing your dad work ever since you've been old enough to understand, you know, photography and what he does outside of the day-to-day, certain times he carries you on certain experiences, and I know recently you guys did a little wrestling trip. How was that experience for you, man?
It was the second time, and I felt good. It was like, because the first time there was a lot of, you know, media, and now there's like a whole bunch more, and, you know, just to have another experience just makes it even more fun.
What happened to you at that wrestling event, the first one? What did they do? They came out the ring? Yeah, what happened when they came out the ring? You tell them, talk to the
I forgot that part.
Didn't they jump out the ring and land on you?
Yeah, I landed on my leg.
Was you screaming?
I was.
But was it fun though, right?
It was. I don't know.
You don't
that
know.
fun to get. Because if they broke my leg, would it be fun?
But they didn't break your leg.
They attempted to break your leg, so it was one of those little.
Well, who's your favorite at that wrestling? What name do you yell out? What letters you yell out?
SWB.
Say it right here. What's the name?
SWB.
So SWB stands for Slick Wagner Brown. So,
Okay.
This guy that I met, maybe you could interview him one day. They got their own school at East Hartford.
Wow. Okay.
So they train. So you have all people of all walks of life come in and train. I'm talking about like people that look like wrestlers, and then people that look like me. And you.
Right.
You know, there's a guy bigger than me and shorter than me that flipped through the air. He inspires me.
Wow.
I'm like, wow. But a lot of what I do is stuff that speaks to me, my childhood, you know, the experience. Because I want to do this because it's fun also. I'm not doing it just because, for me, it's not a job, it's a dream. So I want to be able to chase that dream, live the dream. And if I can, along that trail, bring my son, bring my friend, you know, bring my nephew, bring, you know, people to that experience and teach them something, then it's cool. Because what by bringing him, it's shaping memories. He'll always remember, wow, my daddy brought me here. I don't have those kind of memories with my father. My father brought me to a whooping.
Right.
You know, he didn't bring me to places, you know. I don't have too many fond trips. You know, I remember going to the lake or something like that, and my clothes were wet, and he told me he didn't want me in his car.
Wow. Just because you were wet, yeah.
Yeah, so I remember them having to put
Okay.
stuff down.
Harsh.
That was harsh. That was real harsh. See, I'm not that mean. I am mean though, but you know. But I remember them putting stuff down in the car and stuff like that. So it's like those experiences that you take, you know, your own child to, you bring. We don't realize how sometimes these little things magnify. My son's a very emotional kid, so I have to create big and good memories for him so that he can always remember. Because I know, like, I'm here today, and I don't want to be one of them prophetic people, and then tomorrow I'm gone, you know, knock on wood and all that. But I'm here today, but when I'm gone, he'll have these memories.
Absolutely.
And when I'm not around, he can look at a video. He can see a picture. He can say, that's my dad. He can be proud. I have not one single picture of my father. My photo album is filled with this guy, you know, and it's like there's stuff that I don't really put out there, keep it intimate, you know, for a reason.
That's good, man. So do you think, and those experiences, do you think some of it, I know it was mean, but do you think certain experiences with your dad was sort of tough love, and you just had to kind of initially get that light to turn on later to realize that?
Oh yeah, it was definitely tough love. My father was in the military. He was from down south, so deep part of Georgia. So he grew up probably a generation or two, like we'll say two, maybe more from slavery. You know? So they lived on plantation life type thing. And my grandmother had a tin roof, you know, outhouse and everything. And I dreaded going down there, but I dreaded my father more than I dreaded going down there. You know, and mind you, I live and I grew up with my father. But what I do know is it's not that he didn't necessarily want to teach me. He taught me what he knew. That military, that Southern, it was hard growing up, and he had to teach me a certain way. So it just, you know, that stuff though, I'm trying to think of the word, but basically embedded into my own memories, and it affects how I'm, you know, even in my growth and what I do and how I teach my son. You know, I can't instantly go to a whooping for him. You know, so I have to be more creative, and especially because he's smart and he's looking for ways to get out of it. Right. And the funny thing was, I looked for ways to get out of trouble as a kid. How can I hack or mod this whooping? You know, so it's not an actual thing that I'm going to get caught. So I found others to do what, you know, I wanted them to do. Wow. So that way I didn't get in trouble. You know, my son, I literally felt like one day I had to discipline him, and he had me cracking up prior to the discipline, you know, so it showed me how smart this kid is going to be and how much he is like me, you know, and I love it. I love it so much that I'm Ty, he's Ty. We had to name him twice. Right,
Ty. That's it. So through all of that, I want to get into the youth development piece because, and then we'll get into the more of BKS. But within the youth development piece, you've been doing that for so long, and then you finally got into photography. With that, I know there's so much stories working with children and youth. You were even in a program at my high school with different youth that you work with, talking about sex education and having so much experiences in depth. And this could get a little bit of deep audience, but it definitely inspires stories that you show me. But share some of the stories and experiences that you have growing and doing youth development and working with youth, and, you know, through success stories and some stories that were unfortunate for you.
You know, when I think of BKS photographs, what BKS stands for is the best kept secret. You know, and I don't know if that was one of your questions, but
no, go ahead.
With the best kept secret, it goes back. It's different ways, and I'll kind of get into it a little more. But the core came from a singing group I used to be in when I was a kid. So it's called the Best Kept Secret, and the meaning, what it took on was the fact that if you don't get to like talk to someone, you don't get a chance to know who they are. You know, we all kind of have talents and things within us. Those become our best kept secret. So it's not about best being vanity, trying to say that I'm the best. It's saying that, you know, get to know who I am, get to know my craft, get to know what we do as the best kept secret. So that's why when you're with me, you're the best kept secret. My son is my best kept secret. You know, my daughter, my wife, all these elements is my best kept secret. But one of the best kept secrets, which led to me, and we talked about doing the photography, starting working with youth, the best kept secret to me and youth development, and me, my whole working life has been dealing with the youth. I started doing like volunteer at like when I was a youth at a CRT program, so I have my own experiences learning, my own experiences being a youth and going through certain things. But then when the tables were turned, and you know, I dropped out of school, and then I ended up trying to figure out, I went and got my GED, and that's a whole nother story. But I ended up at an agency. It was called Youth Opportunity Hartford.
Okay.
And part of the caveat for me being there was I had to go to school. So the director at the time, April Goff Brown, when she hired me, she's like, I also want to make you an apprentice, youth development apprentice. So technically, I am the very first youth development like person as far as getting the youth development education. Youth Opportunity hired multiple youth development specialists, but they were hired with what they already had. I was taught specifically youth development.
Wow.
And in doing that youth development, I had a kid come to me my first year past youth development apprentice when I became a specialist. And this kid came in with his associate's degree. And I'm sitting there and I haven't finished school yet.
Wow.
When my father passed, I actually dropped back out of college because we're doing psychology and sociology. Yeah. And as much as I loved it, I couldn't deal with the emotions that when we were talking about death and grieving.
Right.
And it's like, take a step back. I wanted to take my name off the wall and give it to him and say, here, you take my job. You know? And then I'm teaching Always on Saturdays, which was a teen pregnancy prevention program.
Okay.
Right? So we would do it on Saturdays. And doing that program, so I taught the male program. So I taught a group of boys, almost 30 boys on a Saturday, including young men who were older to be mentors, my friends who were mentors, right? And they would give up their Saturday mornings. I volunteered for 4 years, and then I actually worked there for 4 years, right? And I will say that I'm proud of none of my boys got pregnant. Well,
that's what it's about.
But at least until after high school,
right.
But none of them got anyone pregnant, is the real saying, but I usually joke with that. But to have that experience was another level. I worked at UConn Health Center I worked at UConn Health Center, and they placed me in Connecticut Children's Medical Center with a wonderful group of women. Shout out to them. That was the HIV Prevent Youth and Family program, and I was facilitating and I was doing case management.
Wow.
So I would teach young people throughout the city of Hartford so that they can go out and teach their peers. But then the case management side, that was rough. You think about when I started getting into photography. Right. I would always volunteer my camera, and we would do this big Christmas party. And at this Christmas party, you have a lot of young folks who some were born, or the majority was born with HIV, you know, so this is something they didn't ask for. The stigma is still around. So when you put a camera in their face, you know, with the stigma comes depression, comes, you know, this low self-esteem. So some of them don't want to take pictures. Some of them kind of had their head down. Wow. This one individual smiled at the camera, put his hand on his chin, and did this shot that was like, wow. I'm like, I was so proud of this. Yeah, it took my breath. Like, wow. Needless to say, a few months after, and mind you, this was one of his first parties that he went to in his teenage years. But when they get to teenagers, it's like, yeah, like the problem. My job wasn't dealing with HIV really. Or AIDS. It was dealing with them being teenagers. Because if you meet their basic needs, then all the other problems, other things they're willing to address, or they come with it. But with this kid, it was just something where he came in one day, and like on a Wednesday, and we're in the hospital. He's in the bed. He says, "Oh, I think I got a cold." And we're playing. He brought his system, and we're playing video games from the hospital bed. And then Thursday, I get a call from the doctor, and the doctor's like, "He's not going to make it."
Oh my God.
I'm like, "He has a cold. What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
And so your training, your religion teaches you to pray. It's going to be all right. Don't worry about it. Miracles going to happen. But when the doctor said what he said, and I've heard it before.
Right.
You know, don't get close to him because the person might die and the kids be healthy. But something just did not settle within me. So Friday I went, the kid was saying how they were trying to order him food. He was saying he hear angels, and he said the menu was talking to him, and it was like surreal.
Wow.
Saturday I was going to Springfield College, and I remember before I went in, I stopped, I saw him, and he was no longer responsive. So I knew Sunday I go to school, and then I think I got the call on Monday when I went into work that he had passed. I buried him the following Wednesday.
Wow. That's tough.
Yeah, dealing with that though.
Yeah.
I don't remember his death as much as I remember that picture. And you know, it's like right now I'm fighting the tears and stuff.
Yeah,
right?
because it brings back.
I got my little napkins just in case. But I remember the picture.
Wow.
And the picture, it was him and his sister. So I can't. And you have to hold on to these secrets. When I say the secrets, the names, the families, and everything.
Yeah, of course.
I know in some aspect they may watch or they may see this, and just know that I love that family and I think about them. I think about all my youth, all my families, because it's that memory of him that helped me with my mother. It helped me walk into a job that I've been with over 8 years one day and say, "I'm sorry, I have to quit." Because I have to shape memories with my mother, excuse me. It's what made me say, I'm going to do this photography. Because that one picture, I captured life. Like the essence of life is in that picture. I can take a trip back and see this kid smile, which made me take pictures with my mother or be with my mother, because I know that I'm capturing these moments. So that's why I say with my son, it makes me do that. That's why my work with youth, it pushed me there. My singing group pushed me, because with the singing group, first of all, you know, I don't really sing as much anymore.
Yeah, okay. On the low.
I sing to my daughter
Behind
every
the
now
scenes.
and then. But with the singing group, I had low self-esteem, and people did not know this. Being this mixed child of African American and of Thai descent, we didn't have Tiger Woods growing up. You know, Tiger Woods wasn't out yet, so people were confused. What is Thai? Is that Chinese? Is that Japanese? You know karate? What you eat at home? And then knowing the mixture, it's like, what you eat? Southern fried egg rolls? Or I'm like, wait, what? You know, pork fried collard greens. You know, and it like right now, to me it's funny. Like that was some good material back then. But these kids, they were ruthless. They ranked on me. They hurt my feelings. They made me cry. Do you know they made me cry? So I understand when my son comes home. when I hear my son's stories about, you know, he feeling a certain way, I can relate to that. I understand.
Definitely, yeah.
But visually, I don't look like what everyone else looks like. So I try to blend in. I try to be the best black African American person I can be, stereotypically, because I wanted to fit in. I didn't care about my own mother. That's why I didn't learn Thai. But when I came home, I had to eat the food.
Right.
I know I'm big right now, but that's a different story. So if I was living outside, when I say living outside, I don't mean like I literally live outside. As one person, but at home, I was Thai.
Thai, yeah.
You know, and my self-esteem did not allow me to do certain things, but it also allowed me to try to push myself to keep an image, right? And what ends up happening is, in I want to say about 10th grade, I started the singing group. And it was that feeling of having, my brothers lean on. So I could hit a note or I could do a certain thing, and I don't look at those eyes because I got my brothers standing
right beside you.
Right beside
Yeah.
me. You know, when I'm out there doing photography, I lean on you. I lean on before, Shane, Chewy when we were out there together. You know, even young Blaze. He's probably old Blaze right now.
Old Blaze.
But because that helps me out, even in the age where I'm at now.
Yep.
But those are the stories and the things that help shaped BKS in the Best Kept Secret. You leave stuff alone.
It's all good. I know.
See what I got to deal with.
When you target it on, I'm gonna get your mic on.
Y'all don't see
but
all
for now,
this
we gotta leave it off.
stuff down here.
I know. I'm controlling it. It's off.
Don't touch it. Don't worry about it.
It's all good, man. Ty Waterman, celebrity photographer, BKS photographs. Man, the story, the journey, all leads up to now through the BKS experience. Now, I say celebrity photographer, and why are you saying celebrity photographer? But that name was established, and he's going to tell us a little bit about why that name was established. But before that, mentors along the way, along the journey. I know you started at an early age working with youth, through CRT now, and they still have that program where they're putting youth in positions for jobs and employments, and they're having actually opportunities to work with younger youth. But, now you have like the teenagers working with the elementary population. They're getting the experience early on in certain avenues. But through that experience, were there any mentors or people along the way that was able to guide you, possibly when you lost your dad, or possibly when you felt like you were left alone or inside a certain box, or even fast forwarding to when you got a little bit older?
So in general, I had so many people, that was really instrumental, but I don't want to focus on everyone.
Right.
I will say the person that pushed me to try to do better, to be better, to present my best. That is a female older sister by the name of Shanine Jones. I love her. She helped guide me in that time of need. I got jumped in high school.
Wow.
Right? I just turned 18, and this was during the big gang wars in Hartford.
Yep.
I won't say the gang that jumped me, but I went to my I went to my class. I had blood coming down my nose, and I had my buttons were broken, right, on my shirt. And I went to the class, and the teacher said, "Get out of my class. You're causing a disturbance."
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
This is a true story. So depending on how I tell the story, I was either forced out or I dropped out.
Right.
I try to mold it to my audience, but this is the real right here. So I went to the vice principal. Vice principal said, "How old are you?" I said, "I'm just turned 18. He says, "Well, what are you still doing here?" It's like, "I'm here to learn." He's like, "Where do you live?" At the time, I lived on Zion Street, right off Park Street. He literally walked me to the back door of Hartford High and said, "If you get a head start, you can run home now."
What?
Yes.
Wow.
And that same day, I had an interview with the city of Hartford, doing peer education. And with that interview, I called the lady Shanine, and I'm going off. I'm upset. I might have been crying. Yeah, I was crying. I ain't gonna lie.
It might have been.
And she's like, "Tyrone, you get to the interview, go to the bathroom, wipe your face off, fix your buttons. When you sit down, you act like nothing happened. Say nothing about the fight. Give your best. After that interview, you do what you need to do." I got the job because I wasn't stuck on retaliation.
What
I
just
wasn't
happened,
stuck on what happened. I was stuck on my future.
Right.
She was stuck on my future. She had enough in her to know the moves you make, regardless of what was in that past, you got to move forward. So she was instrumental. And post that, getting that job, she helped me fill out applications for school. She helped me fill out my first FAFSA. Is it FAFSA?
FAFSA.
She helped me do that.
Twisted.
So when I say I love her, I love her.
Wow.
But her boss at the time, that to me, that was my father.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You know, my father lived in the house. Him and my mother, they were together. You know, he wanted to marry my mother. My mother's like, no, because he was abusive. And this is stories I didn't find out till I was an adult. You know, and then my father treated me different. And that goes into families, you know, because one is lighter than the other, or you think one's a certain way, or, you know, whatever it is, I don't know because my father's not here. I can't ask. My brothers and sisters can say all the stuff they want, but my father is gone, you know. But the guy that, and when I say he was my father, I'm talking about in the youth development field.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Shanine was my sister. Rudy Thomas, this guy was my father in youth development.
Wow.
He said, Tyrone, why are you always making excuses? Stop making excuses. I was like, because every time I walk up to him, I had an excuse for everything. So I had to stop and say, wow. You know, he taught me about self-esteem. He used to do this poem. It was called I Am. And he would have us read it, you know. And then he would ask us to say, who are you? And I would start off, I'm Tyrone. And he'd say it again. And then I say my full name. Say it again. And he just kept going. And you had to come up with so many different ways of saying it.
Yes.
He built who I am, the foundations of who I am. And when I got jumped a week later, so this was around Black History Month.
Okay.
So Shanine set something up for him to come in and talk about Black History Month, right? And what I feel like, even though he came, he talked about Black history. He talked about his connection to Black history. I'm talking about like with not him directly, like being in the Panthers or anything like that, but like him knowing certain key people and, you know, different things that he did along that way.
Yeah.
And then he showed us certain videos. He got me hungry and, you know, this whole Black power knowledge and stuff like that. But soon as it was over and all the kids left, he stuck me aside. He says, Tyrone, what are you trying to do? I said, I want to go to college, but as a dropout, how can I get to college? I don't know. You know, my only options is McDonald's or selling. You know, I know plenty of dudes out there selling, and I'm not trying to be flipping no burgers, so I don't know. My options are slim. He says, you can go to college with a GED. And back then, that's when it was just a good enough diploma. It wasn't,
right.
You know, a GED. What's his name? Chris Rock made a joke about it, you know? And he says, you can go to college with a GED. And so I'm kind of listening. I'm kind of interested. But what caught me was when he said, because I did.
Wow.
What? Now I'm really interested because this is somebody I know.
Yeah.
I now know the person doing what I wanted to do. And that pushed me and catapulted me. I ended up getting to work with him.
That's amazing, man.
And years later, he said to me, I remember I told you I went to college, but
Yeah,
then I
yeah,
stopped.
right.
He said, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm about to get ready to go for lunch. He was like, no. What are you doing with your life? And he said, I know you want to be like me. He said, but I didn't, when I told you that story, he's like, I didn't go back. I didn't finish college either. I'm like, wait, what? He was in his 50s at this point. It's like, what? He says, don't wait too long. You wait too long, it's gonna. I swear that within some it was a few months later, I ended up signing. I left that position and went, instead of searching for a job, I went and signed up for school.
To finish.
So you don't know what he did was he planted these long-term seeds.
Yes.
He didn't just teach me and then tomorrow I was changed. Man, no, he planted seeds. And my work with youth was about planting seeds. It was
Absolutely.
about trying to grow. And so my lessons are parts of his lessons. So the kids that I taught, you know, he has something to do with it. You know? So those things magnify, you know, and I'm like, wow. But and the last person that I would speak on is Martha Jackson. That's my mother. Right. So, and when I say mother, you know, I love my mother to death, but I'm talking about my mother in youth development.
Wow.
Because that job that I got was with her. The one that I got jumped and, you know, and she helped train me to facilitate how to get out there, talk, don't, you know, she built that self-esteem even further and she pushed it. She built it so much the thing almost blew up and overflowed. So I don't care what people think about me, you know, as far as a visual thing, you know, because visuals change all the time. I take pictures, I know this, you know, it's about what's inside.
Wow.
You know, and so she taught me all that. And through my times of need growing up, I was 18 at this point. So my young adult, she helped shape me. And I remember going to her all the time for problems, and she would help me navigate through and work and problem solve, right? She's one of the people that taught me problem solving, and I would teach it to kids. But the one time that I went to her, I was sitting there, her door opened, she let me in, and I started, before she could say a word, well, I got a problem with and then and then but you know what, I'm gonna do and when I finished talking, I solved my own problem. She looked at me, I looked at her, she said, I can't talk, I got laryngitis. So the one time I needed her, the reality and the lesson that she taught me was I had it in myself.
You had it in yourself, yeah.
So yeah, that's it.
It gives you a message. No, I know it's all good. It gives you a message, but through all of that, they say, I go by this quote all the time: the depth of your struggle determines the height of your success. Through all of that, through the transition, your father in youth development wanted you to be better than him. You know, right. he clearly said, I didn't finish, so that gave you the sign. Well, I need to go back and finish, not necessarily being directly. And that's how you are with your youth. Right. We always wanted to be better than us. It always has to elevate and taking it a step higher. Now, the depth of your struggle determines the height of your success, a quote that I live by, and I see that in you now transitioning into the BKS experience. This is just the roots. We got into the roots, and that's deep in itself. It's deep, and that's deep. Very appreciative. That's very inspirational. And the listeners out there will now see the BKS experience. Now, celebrity photographer Ty Waterman, I have to be clear with that, because it's not just the photographer, Mr. Ty Waterman, but celebrity photographer Ty Waterman. How was that name established, and what was that first experience on that celebratorial platform for you?
Well, initially, I was shooting like models. One of my former kids, when I was at Yo Hartford, who aspired to do fashion. Her name is Alicia Stevens. She was looking for donations for a fashion show she was throwing. And I just got, my first camera, and me and her met up, and we're catching up. She's telling me everything she got going on, and I went to write her a check. And I went in mine. I was going to give her like $50, but she moved me. For some reason, I gave her like $200 at the time. She said, what?
Yeah, right.
She said, why don't you come and bring your camera and take photos? So I went. And then she called me up. She says, can you shoot some models? I was like, okay. So I did that. And she kept calling me. So she was pushing me to do this.
Wow.
And it was like, okay. And then one of my friends, Matt, he was doing these comedy shows. And so he had like Def Comedy Jam people come through, and so I would go do the comedy shows, and I would take pictures. I had other folks who would start having stuff. So I'm building a small little window. But then I linked up with Zoe and Chewy of Any Video.
Shout out to Zoe and Chewy.
And they asked me to come with them one day. I was going to do video when I first started.
Oh wow, okay.
So I brought that Canon 7D and
do
video and photo. And then Chewy was like, yo, come with us tonight. We're gonna be at this club in Hartford. Singer Mario gonna be down there. All right. So I went down, took the pictures. Like, yeah, that was dope. Yo, we got this party, a black party up at Renaissance.
So it started
come through. And I said, you know what? If y'all gonna do video, I'm gonna do photos. So we teamed up heavy.
Wow.
So one night I kept asking promoter who was doing these big concerts, Chancey, and I was like, can I come? And he was like, we already got our photographer. He was using my boy Art Tia. Yo, he blocking me. Like, he was like, no, we good. But for some reason, New Year's, he brought Lil Kim.
Okay.
And I think he almost gave me the runaround, but Chew, he used to
kind of
kick
push
in the
that
door.
in. Yeah,
he had me come through, and everywhere I go, usually it's multiple photographers. This time, it felt like it was 100 videographers.
Wow.
You know how many photographers?
None.
Just me.
Wow, just you. Everybody doing video.
So this is the height of that beef with Lil Kim. Lil Kim beefing with Nicki Minaj.
Yeah, all of that. That was when that sparked off. Okay.
And so I remember coming home that morning on New Year's. I edited some photos and put them out, went to bed. I woke up the next morning, my phone blowing up, my Facebook blowing up.
What?
Yo, your photos is on MTV, your photos on hip hop, your photos on VH1, BET. everywhere.
Wow.
I think the radio was talking about it. Everything. It was like, yo, what? Wait, what?
It's just like that.
And it was a picture. It was 2 pictures that went super viral. It was Chewy with holding the mic, and Little Kim is right there, and then Big Reg from Hot 93.7.
Okay.
So probably like a week or 2 later, the Doc Hurley gang comes and they bring Bow Wow. And so I'm out there. Bow Wow and Waka Flocka was there. I'm taking pictures, and I take a picture, and Buck is like, "Can you send me from the radio station?" He's like, "Can you send me the pictures?" And I was like, "You're not my friend on Facebook. I tried to add you, but you're not my friend."
It's like they get that exceeded amount.
Like, how can I send it? He says, "Don't worry, I'll find you." And I'm like,
Yep.
like, you got to know. You don't even know me. Like, how? Okay, whatever. And he found me, and next thing you know, those photos and other photos, and it started. So I decided to throw myself a birthday party, and somebody asked me about it, and I was like, "Oh, okay, well, let's do it." And so Chewy said, "Yo, you should put celebrity photographer on there," and I'm like, "What?" He was like, "Put it on there," and I'm like, so remember that self-esteem. I'm a humble person, and I'm like, "No, I don't want to put it out there. I want people to think." He says, "Yo, you gotta claim it." And this is Chewy speaking. You gotta claim that. I said, "You know what? I'll put it on there." So we started putting hashtag celebrity photographer, BKS photographs, hashtag celebrity photographer, Ty Waterman. Bam. And it stuck. And needless to say, I went from no one knowing who I was in the photo game. Everyone knew me in youth development.
Right.
Now I don't nobody know me. All my kids is adults. Some are grandchildren, believe it or not. I'm just playing. I hope not.
Right.
But they didn't know me. But then I do this, and this celebrity thing starts building. Now, I go from no one to like every other week. Sometimes I'm calling you up.
Yeah.
We done took some trips. I used to call Shane all the time. Last minute, let's go. All right. And it's like you put the kids to bed and then head right on out, and it just magnifies. I mean, to go from the Little Kim to you're hanging around with like Said the Entertainer, or, some of these other people that we've shot, and just we're having conversations with them. We're chilling. We're backstage drinking, or I'm drinking water on milk. We're backstage with them.
They're comfortable there,
and it's like, wow. But then you go home, and it's like I'm all excited because I'm with like Patti LaBelle, and I'm telling the wife, and she goes, "That's nice. Could you do the dishes?"
Whoa, did you not just hear what I said? Right.
That's Patti LaBelle. If only you knew, like, literally. But yeah, and some of these people, just like I claim that some of the people you've been with me when we've had conversations, I want to meet this person, and then bam, they come and we get the picture with them.
Crazy.
My goal, one of my goals, I'll put this one out there, photo goal. I'm a big New Edition fan. So it's like I feel like I'm like Pokemon. I gotta collect them all. He loves Pokemon, so I figure I'd throw him that one. But with the Pokemon, with the Pokemon thing, it's like I got pictures of all of them together, right? And then the pictures I got of the individuals, Belle Biv DeVoe. So I got Mike Bivens, and Ronnie, and my boy Ricky, right? And then I got Johnny Gill. We got him over the summer, right? And in fact, I think it will be with him later in the week. He'll probably be coming down for something. But so the only 2 I haven't gotten is Bobby Brown and Ralph Tresvant. So I'm trying to get a picture with them. Like I said, I got pictures of them, just not with them.
Right.
But so I'm claiming that here. So when you see those pictures, you can be like, "Oh, he did claim that."
You were talking about it. Yeah, that's nice. So outside of that, what has been your best from the BKS experience? What has been your best experience? Because I know outside of the celebrity thing, you do weddings and things, but in the celebrity realm, what has been your best experience so far that you either checked off your bucket list or you just like had that moment where like, yo, this is crazy, and you continue to still talk about it to this day?
So my best experience had nothing to do with BKS photographs directly.
Wow. Okay.
Nothing to do with it directly. I was on Twitter. And I follow my favorite comedian. My favorite comedian is Sinbad, right? So outside of the fact that he's team light skin, Sinbad, what happened was the first book I read since dropping out of school, I was sitting in the classroom at Sears. I was working at Sears. I'm sitting in this classroom and I'm cracking up. The kids are like, Mr. Waterman, what you doing? I'm reading. His book gave me that opportunity to know that those words came off the page. It was like Sinbad was sitting there talking to me, telling these jokes. I'm relating to his story, and I'm seeing what he's saying, and it's like, wow, I dropped out of school, and wow, I want to do this, and wow. And then I'm like, yo, he went and chased the dream, and I'm like, wow, and it was hilarious. I didn't think a book, because when you're in school, you read it, and you're forced to read it, and it doesn't become fun, or it's like, oh, I don't get it, or this or that. This book, it made me go and get the Black Panther book. I read about Black Panthers, and that had to do with with Rudy.
Right.
I read other people, but his book just really hit me. So I'm on Twitter telling him, you inspired me to do blah blah blah. And I'm like, I know you're gonna be in town soon. I'd love a chance to meet you. Sure, come down to Foxwoods.
What?
It's like, wait, what?
Wow.
Wife is pregnant with him. And we speeding down there. It's like 5 minutes before I gotta use the bathroom. I'm like, I'm gonna just go. I don't care if I gotta use it on myself, because I knew if he hit the stage that I wouldn't have a chance to talk to him or meet him, because I'd have to wait till the show is over. Right. So as I'm running in there out of breath, the attendant walks up to me, and the attendant is like, can I help you? And I'm like, Sinbad told me to come see him. Could you tell him I'm here?
Straight like that.
And straight like that.
Wow.
And I felt like he was going to laugh at me, and I know he was. He was like, yeah, right, whatever. I'll go check. So he went and he checked. He came back. He was like, yeah, Sinbad said that he'll see you after the show. I was like, yes, okay, I can go to the bathroom, but I can't stay here. I gotta leave and wait. So I don't know exactly when's after the show. And before I can say that, he's like, and he said, if you don't have any seats, we can give you seats. So he walked me out to the ticket booth. Wow. And gave us box seating. And this lady by the name of Lisa, love her too, came over, gave us drink coupons. But I was so high on the experience, drunk off of the notion that I'm going to meet my idol.
That's crazy.
I didn't even use those tickets. Unfortunately, they expired. So, but yeah, funniest 2 hours ever. And it wasn't even stand-up comedy. It was Sinbad sitting down just talking about life. And that was funny. Got backstage, and everybody knew who we were because we were twittering it. Everybody's like, oh, where's Ty? Because I was in the bathroom.
Wow.
My wife went up, and then everybody met my son from her belly. And I get back there, and then Sinbad's back there, and then I get to shake his hand, and he says something to me. I don't even remember what he says. And I'm like,
stuttering like that?
Oh. For the first time ever.
Man.
And when you know me, be speechless.
Yeah.
Redemption came the next time he came. He he allowed me to come, invited me. We actually got to hang out with him after it was. I think it was his around his birthday weekend. So we celebrated. Had nice conversation. So every time I go, I try to talk to him. I try to have conversation with him. And I'm not going to front and act like these people are like my best friends and everything about me.
Right.
I don't want people to think that I got them in the Rolodex, even though some of them I do. And for the young kids who don't know what a Rolodex is, it holds all your phone numbers and stuff. It's old school. But I have certain contacts with some people, and I don't let it out. I don't let brag or whatever. But I don't act like these are like my best friends. For social media, I say this is my boy and my homie. My sister or this person, it's terms of endearment.
Absolutely.
I'm not trying to act grandiose like I am the celebrity, but at the same time, I want to portray better. I want to portray best for my people. My people, as is multiple. It's not just one person. We have to do better. That's why I brought my son here, so he can experience this experience, so he can see this, so he can hear this. So the real celebrity to me is this kid right here.
Absolutely.
Because I'm looking in the mirror. Yeah, because you ain't even mentioned, I don't know if it's on your list, but the other reason why I brought him here is because he beat you recently. Go ahead.
How do you feel? The winner of the Spicy Challenge. As we transition, live to inspire celebrity photographer Ty Waterman Is here. Story is deep. Story is intense, man. I hope you are inspired right now. Has been amazing. But yeah, of course. I mean, winner of the spicy challenge, and this all came about because one I'll say outside of on or off the air we here. Ty is a man of spice and things, and I'm not gonna lie. In the beginning, I'm a person that likes to explore. I'm very adventurous. I wasn't so like the first thing I didn't want to explore was like I wouldn't think of like Thai food or anything like that. But as he's been introducing me, as we've been traveling, doing our celebrity thing, he's been introducing me to the Thai culture, and it's been quite interesting. And then of course spices. I'm like a person. Oh, I like spicy food, but when you come to the Thai spice, I thought Jamaican spice was hot, but when you get to that Thai spice, now that's a whole nother level. So it all came about. One day we were. He was trying to get me interested into some videos with regards to some spicy challenge videos and what is it called? The hot ones and stuff like that. So I was watching it. So randomly he came by and said, "Yo, let's do a challenge and." Online, you with my son. I was like, your son? Like, what? But then again, him raising, and you could kind of share that story a little bit in regards to you raising him into that, getting used to that stuff. And then it came about, I was like, let's do something real quick for Facebook, throw it up, boom, boom, bang. Long story short, we did it. Spicy Gummy Challenge. And,
how was that?
Mr. Young Ty
It was pretty awesome. And I threw up after that.
You were supposed to keep that to
Yeah,
yourself because I don't
that.
want him to think that you lost because you threw up. But he was cheating. Did you know he was cheating?
How was I cheating?
We found out in the video when we watched it back.
Oh, you saw me drinking the milk?
Yeah, you was drinking it beforehand.
I didn't think you would go back and watch it.
Was the loser, and he drank the milk way before.
Well, no,
found it.
that was just kind of like a little. I just wanted to taste test the milk.
Yeah, okay. So, but no. How long have you been eating spicy food?
Since I was like a baby.
He was a baby. My mother actually would give him food, and he would kind of cough, and then he would go back and get the food because he really wanted to try it. Like when something tastes good, and it's spicy, it's like it makes you want to keep going back. And then it's also, we were talking about this, it's like an endorphin rush that happens. It makes you feel good, and it's like wow. But some people, they just can't handle the heat. But he's been brought up in it, so I want him to know what his culture is.
Definitely,
because I didn't know. And when we were talking, I like to share to my friends what I used to keep. I would have a girlfriend, right? Invite her over. My mother's cooking. I'd leave the house because I didn't want her to know that. I would hide that from her. If I had someone stay over, I would wait for them to go to sleep before I would eat my mother's food because I didn't want them to know. But as you know, I take you as right. No, we're gonna go eat this. And you're like, I don't want to eat that. I know that's hot. Or no. But you say, you know what? I'm gonna try it. I have other people. I'll bring them into an Asian market real quick. My son even goes and be like, oh, this stinks. And he was like, but can I get one of those blue sodas?
Right.
Can I have one of this? Can I have that?
It's true.
But he knows
that.
his other part of his culture. But that spice thing was just something where it's my connection to my mother. And it's, for him now, it's that connection to his mother. His grandmother, excuse me. But yeah, I love all kinds of spice. So I'm not just stuck on Thai spice. But that's just what helped make me who I am. And that's what kind of shapes him. So I don't want nobody to think that I was torturing him, giving him spice.
No, he's good.
Yes, I grew up on it. Don't blame my grandma. Don't blame my grandma. Don't blame him. Blame nobody. He was not torturing me.
As long as it tastes good, he'll eat it. He'll tell you real quick if something's too hot, he don't like it. If it tastes good, he'll keep eating it. And he'll just be like, oh. So that's why. And then plus I thought it'd be cool for him to challenge him to get that win. I knew he was gonna win. You went out on the ghost pepper. And
then I was comfortable and I was like, this is gonna be easy. At first I thought we were just going like it was just gonna go smooth. We was both going just like be good, and it would have been like, oh man, I wish it was. But I was like, whoa, that ghost pepper wasn't no joke, man.
Who knew a gummy would be that hot, huh?
Yeah, who knew a gummy? Skittles aren't even that hot. Hershey's aren't that hot. Until they made the hot thing. They're still not that hot. Oh. But for ghost pepper, it's a whole nother story.
Oh yeah, it is. You ain't right. You ain't lying on that one. That's put me in the hot seat. But it was a great experience. If you haven't watched it, go on Facebook, BKS Photographs, Spicy Gummy Challenge, #, and you can catch that video of Eddie versus Young Ty Ty.
Yes, sir.
And then you died.
And then I died at the end. Yeah, it was bad. Even off camera.
Oh, he was out of it for a minute.
Yeah,
He was sitting there euphoric.
Shout out to that. Shout out to that ice cream. We had a little, the special treat at the end.
I know. I love, the chocolate. So I took the chocolate.
It's all good. But you
But
see,
next time I'm gonna have the orange.
the reflection of Ty Waterman, the father, into his son. And, the torch has been passed. It's been a great experience. So I will ask you, wrapping up, what's next for BKS?
I'm like one of those with the wind type of people. I know where I want to go, but sometimes I just like to follow different things. And what happened is, and with this interview and a couple other interviews, I decided I want to kind of get a little bit from behind the camera, and do a little bit of the social media stuff. Be more in front. And the Spicy Challenge was one way to get us out in front of the camera, get you in front of the camera.
Yep.
You've been going to school for this type of stuff for a while, so I've been pushing you to, do
Definitely.
some of this. And my pushing you is is my way of low key pushing myself.
Pushing yourself, yeah, it happens.
Yep.
And
you the same way. You pushed me. Why don't you come here? You had me come to this studio to check out some interviews,
just to be in the back
and to help out. And it's like, in doing that made me say, I like this song.
Yeah.
Chewy used to, we'd be at someplace, he'd be interviewing somebody, and all of a sudden he turns the camera on me. So what do you think about this?
Yeah,
I've been
he's like,
working
whoa.
all night. I'm sweating. I'm hot.
I want the camera on me.
I don't know. I like apples.
Yeah.
So it's like, now just trying to be out in front. So we're trying to launch something in social media. Hold on one second, buddy. Hold on. Trying to do some more of the less behind the scenes and more upfront interviews. So you're going to be the technical guy. I'm going to be the sidekick.
Definitely.
Trying to give my little 2 cents to these interviews and things like that. And we'll try to make it happen.
Excited about that. And I want to shout out to Chewy, Sean, Chewy, Avent, for that push on both of our ends, because again, stepping in front of the camera, when I first came out into the communications career with helping interning with any video, it was awesome just watching him and like, yo, this is dope. And how they shaped the culture in the party scene and the nightlife scene before they got into the celebrity interviews. Just kind of getting that feedback and those recaps of parties or any type of community events. That was a dope aspect within any video. And then, me stepping in after Chewy kind of faded away. And then, being with Ty, the celebrities, and kind of doing my own thing, coming on, creating Live to Inspire. It's just been awesome. It's kind of been, getting me out of my shell, coming into a talent realm versus just being behind the scenes, editing audio and video and things like that, and being in front of the mic, in front of the camera. So shout out to Chewy for that push and just that encouragement to inspire and be an inspiration and continue to carry on the legacy.
Yes, sir.
That's awesome. So, man, as we wrapping up, lastly, before say your social media and all of that, how they can follow you, just a quick little inspirational messages for people that's listening from your journey, from your story to your success to where you are now. Just a small inspirational message, whatever you want to share with the people to keep them inspired.
I feel like so this whole experience here, some of the stuff I said, there's many jewels that
absolutely
dropped throughout the whole thing. But yeah, I mean, when you get the opportunity to, do something, you do it. When you want to do something that you couldn't, try it. Never be afraid to go out on a limb. My nephew's standing off in the corner. My nephew's standing in the corner. He's come down here from South Carolina. And, I've got to spend almost a month with him so far. I haven't seen him since my mom's passing, technically, because he moved to South Carolina after. But he's into music. And this kid, I don't know where he got it from, but he plays guitar, or he's trying to learn guitar, but bass, piano, drums. You do drums too? A little bit. But no one taught him.
Wow.
And so when I look back at my own, like I did sing, he sings too. I think his favorite, one of his favorite artists is Stevie Wonder.
Okay.
So to know this,
right,
and to know that it's not this young music I'm playing, but that he was self-taught And I was trying to figure out where he learned it from, and it's like it's within us.
Yeah,
So we
it's a
have
gift.
those tools and those things within us. You know, so don't let anyone tell you you can't. You can't when you believe you can't. You can as long as you keep doing, you keep trying. Because even if you couldn't at that moment, eventually you will.
Right.
You know, it sounded like Yoda. Yes, sir. Anything you want to say before we wrap this up?
Yes, sir. Go ahead, Ty.
I feel like I'm running this show. This is my interview of you too. What do you have to say? What do you want to say?
Well, I self-taught myself to learn about Pokemon. I self-taught myself to learn about all this stuff just by using my imagination.
Well, he's saying Pokemon, but the reality, this kid was reading at like 1 year old.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I thought it was 2.
No, it was about a little bit after 1. You started learning certain words.
That's amazing.
And then by 2, you were reading almost like fluently. By the time he started school, at 3, they had him read in front of the whole school. He would read in front of like at an assembly. So it was like, yo, like, that's my kid, right? That's my son, right?
Yeah.
You know, like, hey.
You feeling? You be like, whoa.
You know, but I have to know, I have to embrace that and keep pushing that because I put my sparks aside to try to be like other people.
Right.
So that's why I want him to know you got to be like yourself. Don't worry about it. Be different. You know, just be who you are. Don't be like somebody else. This message is for my daughter too. You know, whoever you are, you embrace who you're gonna be. You don't got to be like any of the kids in your class. You be you. But as long as you're respectful and you're mindful, you learn the lessons that we teach you. This goes to my nephew in the corner. You know, you can make it. You can be anything you want to be. When I know I'm running out of time.
No, you're good.
But when I go back to those people that taught me and all those little lessons and the things that they taught me, when I didn't know anyone who dropped out of school, got a GED, went to college, I did know that person. When I told these kids to follow their dreams, and I didn't know anyone following their dreams, I became that person who's following my dreams. And that's why I tell you, when you have a dream, you can follow it. Don't let somebody tell you you can't. You can do it. Now you know that person. That's me. So when I talk to the kids, I'm that person. I'm following my dreams every single day that I wake up and I got breath in this body.
That's amazing, man. That's amazing. I hope those are listening, man, you're inspired. Live to inspire. Celebrity photographer Ty Waterman, BKS Photographs, the best kept secret in photography, the journey, the process, the story. He has a story to tell. And it's amazing. Shout out little Ty for coming through, man. And the champion of the spicy gummy challenge.
Really, there's still gonna be a bunch
I gotta come back and reclaim. I gotta come back and reclaim the title.
Don't worry, I got some stuff in store for you. Since
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff. So stay connected with us.
Burn me again?
I might have to take on Eddie myself.
Yeah. So
Why do you want to burn Eddie again? Even though I already
could
can
take
burn him.
So speaking of social media, share with them how they can follow you, how can they stay connected, and
all right,
what we got
social
going
media on all social media platforms. That's BKS Photographs. So Twitter, Instagram, you can, and I believe even YouTube at BKS Photographs.
Nice.
Snapchat, I don't really be on there as much, once in a blue moon. But on Facebook, go to facebook.com /BKS Photographs. YouTube is, I think it's the same thing, youtube.com /BKS Photographs, or just search it and a list of stuff will pop up. Yeah, so just follow us.
I got some.
We got some stuff coming for you. You want to see some of the stuff we done did in the past, you go right ahead. I'm on that new platform, IGTV Live, which is basically Instagram
TV,
that gives you more than a minute.
Right. That's all it is. Just
1
extending
hour,
it.
I guess.
No, that's not how.
That's it, man. That's this episode of Live to Inspire. We appreciate you for coming through, man. This was long overdue. We made it happen.
Yes, sir.
This is awesome. We got some stuff in store, so stay connected. BKS Photographs, eBrown promo. But before we go, the inspirational tip of the week. I think this relates perfectly with today. Live the life of your dreams. Be brave enough to live the life of your dreams according to your vision and purpose, instead of the expectations and opinions of others. So again, live the life of your dreams. Be brave enough to live the life of your dreams according to your vision and purpose, instead of the expectations and opinions of others. That's this episode of Live to Inspire. I'm your host, Eddie Brown. Today's special guest, Ty Waterman, celebrity photographer, BKS Photographs. Hope you guys were inspired. Hope you guys were encouraged. Stay great. Be great. Until next time, peace.